Welcome to your Monday Mindset Moment. I am your host and the founder and owner of and lead coach of Raising Our Resilience. Our Family Foundations Immersion year-long program is going swimmingly. We're so excited that we have such a strong cohort this year, and we'll have another cohort jump starting in July. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you get in touch with me as soon as possible so you can apply and see if it's a fit for you. Today, we're going to take a look at a really lovely skill, which is something that is essential for every parent and caregiver, from my experience and from what I've seen really work or not work for parents and caregivers. And that is the ability to empathize without giving in. And what I mean by that is that in the moment, we often feel like we have to choose between really empathizing and showing that we care and being really what we would call like present and emotionally responsive to our kid and really hearing them and spending all this time empathizing and really connecting with them, or being stern, being strict, being firm, holding the line, making sure they learn the lesson, making sure they understand the rule, correcting their behavior, teaching them how to do it better, etc. And it's sort of this idea that we have to choose between being very supportive and tuned in, or kind of shut down, shut off, and very stern and kind of make demands without the support. Well, I'm here to tell you the good news and to encourage you to really start moving in this direction, whether you're in the more demand side or the more supportive side, or if you're, kind of flipping back and forth, all of which I've seen. So wherever you are, it's okay. It's normal to be where you are. But I want to encourage you and invite you to come and look and see what the blend of the two could look like. So one example of that is, your child has made a mistake. They're feeling really embarrassed or ashamed or guilty about it, but at the same time, they're not really apologizing or making good with, repair. And you want to empathize with them because you want them to know that you understand, that you get it, that you're on their side, but you also don't want to give in and maybe lower your expectations of that apology happening. So in this scenario, for example, maybe this mother here with her, older teenage daughter is noticing that she's feeling really bad. She was empathizing with her, but she also wants to make sure that she understands that she needs to fix her mistake, right? How do we do both? Do we have to choose between the two? My answer is no, we get to do both. And so the first thing I want to tell you is that every single time a child is expressing, or teen, or even adult child is expressing an emotion, and it's really clear that they are emotional and that you start to feel your heart surge, your mirror neurons fire, like, oh, I get it. I feel for this child. I feel for them. Go with that and have a sense of what is it, if anything, that my child or my teen or my adult child needs to learn alongside me giving and showing this empathy. What do they need to learn? What also needs to happen? What follow through needs to happen? And one of the things that we can use that's really helpful that I've enjoyed teaching to my clients is this idea that yes, kids and all humans will have some basic emotions, and behind those emotions, there's something that they're trying to get through, that's trying to be expressed. And I love this question. What is this child trying to express? Because perhaps in their embarrassment and shame and guilty feelings, they are expressing, I need to be comforted that I'm still worthy of love. And maybe that's what's coming through, right? And they're sad, and they're also a little bit scared that maybe they won't have that love and belonging now that they've made this mistake, or that this means something really bad about them. Like, I'm not capable, or I'm not enough, or I don't have what it takes, something like that message. So what they're maybe expressing is, please comfort me, please help reassure me, please help me know that I'm good enough, I'm okay, and that we are good, like you still love me, even though I've made this mistake. Another thing that could be expressed is, an angry message, which is a little different from that scenario, like this child in this picture. Maybe she's trying to express something simple like, I know what I want and you won't give it to me, and now I'm pissed, right? And sometimes the behavior that follows is what is out of bounds, and we feel like, oh no, now my child is stomping or whining or slamming doors or throwing things or hitting or kicking or biting or calling me names or saying I'm the worst parent. All of these things have happened, trust me, right? And I'm sure at least one of those you've seen and witnessed in yourself or in a child. And you think about, like, what is it they're trying to express? One of the most important thing you can do in the moment is help them express that message with empathy. And so how you can, an empathetic validating statement could be, for the angry child, let's say screen time ended, she's really upset she didn't get to finish her show. You don't have to say, oh, I get it, and I would tear the house apart too if I didn't get to finish my show. That's a little strange, right? It's almost like we're not validating the emotion there. We're validating this deconstructive behavior that's following. And I think that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people who don't want to empathize with their kids when they're angry or sad or scared or like too hyper, is that they feel like I'm somehow confirming this behavior as the appropriate way to handle this emotion. That's not what I'm talking about. When we empathize with it, we find one thing that makes sense about it in its very basic message. So with anger, and you can write this down, with mad, the message is usually, I know what I want and you or the situation won't give it to me. So I am annoyed, frustrated, angry, enraged, whatever degree of anger they're feeling. And so if you can just reflect back with empathy, oh, I know it can be really tough when you really want something and you don't get to have it. And in the moment, it doesn't make sense. Why? Right? Like, why do I have to stop in the middle of the show? That doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. And now I'm mad. I get that, honey. Right? So that is different from saying, go, yeah, I would tear up the house too. Right? Or I'd call you names too. You're coming to the core message of the emotion. I know what I want and you or the situation won't give it to me. Something about that you can empathize back. Okay. Now I want to also go through sad, glad, and scared really quickly. So write these down. When kids are sad, or when humans are sad, when people are feeling sadness, it's usually the message is something like, I know what I want. I used to have it and now I don't. And again, we can indulge it too much and say, oh, I know it's, you really want to have more time with your cousin. And it's so sad that you're not going to see them for a whole year. That's going to be so lonely for you. And oh man, no wonder you're crying your eyes out. Like it would be, it's just so tragic. It's like, wow, I don't know that that's very helpful. It's sort of indulging and going a little far and really saying, if you miss somebody, you should cry your eyes out in despair that you're not going to see them for a very long time and feel really lonely. That's not exactly empathy. It's not very helpful empathy, right? So a more helpful version would be like, gosh, I wish I could wave a magic wand and buy us some more time with your cousin. I really hope that there's some way that we can stay connected and that this isn't really goodbye. This is see you later. But in the meantime, I just acknowledge like, yeah, that missing you feeling can really hurt your heart. Oh, would you like a hug? There's something there that's a little more even, right? And it's just acknowledging, I wish I could give this thing to you that, you don't have now. I wish I could give you more time. We don't have that, but I do understand why you would want that. Glad is like, I know what I want and yay, I have it. That's the message behind glad. I know what I want and I have it. Right. And sometimes though, that can push kids to this really hyperactive space where they're frenetic. They don't have any control over their body anymore. And they get the sillies, right? And they can't stop giggling, or they're just like hyper, like doing laps around the house going, ah, because they're so excited. And so you can empathize with that too. You can join in the fun a little bit and then help bring it down and just say, I know you're so excited. And it makes so much sense because you wanted this and you got this, right? Like you wanted to win the game and you won. Yeah. And you tried really hard and you figured out and you figured out how to win the game. I'm happy for you. Right. And let's take some breaths, right. We're going to talk more about emotion coaching next week. But just with that message is so important, that validation. It's really different than saying, I know you're excited, but my gosh, you don't need to go crazy, right? You don't need to lose it. But you're way too loud, right? Try the empathy first, see if you can connect with that emotion they're experiencing and maybe even get a little bit of that joy too, and then help them find a way to kind of ground and calm down. Last but not least, scared. The message behind scared, and I really want you to pay attention to this. This is important because when we know the message, we can empathize better, right? The thing about scared that's really tricky is it tends to be, I know what I want and I don't know how to get it. And it can be abstract with scared, but it can also be concrete. I know what I want to get away from this spider, but I don't know how to get it off of me. Yeah, freaking out scared, right? I know what I want. This situation is way too overwhelming, but I don't know how to get it. I don't know where a quiet place is. And now I'm starting to to get really nervous and anxious that I'm not going to get out of this overwhelm. That's one version. The other message, write this down, is I know it. I don't even know. I know I need something, but I don't even know what it is. And that's when you can really see kids kind of like get into sort of a panic or a terrified space, because they don't even understand what they need. But they might need something like getting away from a really scary situation. They might need you to hold them and make them feel really secure and safe. They might need to scream and yell and get something off their chest. We don't know, right? And they don't know. And that's really scary for them. And it's often an emotion that comes up combined with another form of upset, like mad and sad, where they're like, I'm so mad, I don't know what to do. That's scary. I'm so sad, I don't know what to do with all this anguish. That's scary too. So you watch out for the combination of the two. And a message you can have, and we've got Alex and Lily and Sarah and Sterling here. Nice way to show up today. And several folks on Facebook, say hi. Just say hi in the comments so we know who's here with us. I want you to be thinking about, and you can just put it in the comments or put it in the chat. Is it mad, sad, glad, or scared that is the hardest for you to empathize with? Okay, just put that word, mad, sad, glad, or scared, in the comments or the chat. And if you're watching on Zoom or on the replay, you can just put replay, just put the word. Nice. So Lily says hi, Sarah says mad. Wonder if anybody else has got one. And what I want you to do is like really lock in. Hi, Terry on Facebook. It's great to have several clients and community members here all together. Lovely, lovely group today. I want you to think about what is that core message. And those of you who are the Emotional Mastery Weekend, my clients doing the 3-day, journey through emotion mapping and coaching and all the coping tools. This is one of the key teachings, right? It's like, what is the message behind that emotion? So mad seems to be a theme here. So I really want you to hear it. I know what I want, and you or the situation isn't giving it to me, is blocking my way, is making it hard for me to get it. Help them. Help your child express, showing them what you see, right? And that's, you can say signs of their emotion. So, wow, it seems like your fists are tight and your cheeks are red. Your voice is getting loud. My guess is that you are, say, frustrated, mad, annoyed, enraged. And say why. That you want more time on your device, and mommy or I won't give it to you, right? And I can empathize with that, like, oh, it is hard when you want something and somebody's getting in your way. Try that next, okay? And then, yes, address the behavior, which is a whole other topic for a whole other day. But I really want you to just practice the empathy, right? So right now, last thing before we go, write a sentence, if you would. I'm going to come on the screen now again. Write a sentence, if you would, in the chat of practice. And this is just drafting it, right? Try it just once. What is a statement that says, I know you want blank, and I get it that you want blank, right? But blank won't let you, or the situation, I won't let you, the situation won't let you. And then one thing that says, that makes sense to me, right? So I gave you a few examples. I'll give you one or two more. You really wanted to pet the cat and the owner wouldn't let you. And now I can tell that is frustrating to you. There is something frustrating about that. You really wanted to do something and somebody said no. It's not always easy to hear no. I feel for you. I understand. Simple, right? Something just simple could be low level frustration or rage. Now, it's not a silver bullet. It's not like it's going to just like snap them out of it, but I tell you, they will start to pay attention to what you suggest next better, or more likely to receive your support if they think that you get it. There's nothing worse to hear out of a tween or teenager or even a young child's mouth besides, you don't get it. And then what follows after that is usually really hard to hear. You can't help me. There's no hope. You'll never understand. You're the worst mom or dad ever, right? Etc. So let's make sure the kids know that we get it. And it gives them more language to then express themselves at age 2 to 22, what it is that they're experiencing with their emotion, which will help them to start to calm down and help them to get that lid back on. And we'll talk more about that next week. So hope to see you next Monday. Real quick, I have an announcement. Practice your sentence in the chat though, friends. If you haven't done it, just know that that is your takeaway. This is for you, a tool for you that you get to bring with you. And I'm going to give you another moment to do that. And I'll read something back and while we close. And in the meantime, I wanted to share with you that we have a special event coming up that's this is kind of a tangent, but it is related, that in order for us to be able to even think of the message in the moment, we have to practice a lot of self-care and build in rituals and routines that help us to nourish ourselves and help us to feel resourced, like we have time to take care of ourselves, whether that's getting a drink of water, fitting in your exercise, eating something nutritious, getting enough sleep, whatever it is for you. But one thing I've discovered recently that's really nice is to build in a little skincare routine at the end of the day. And I am working with a mom who has been in our community now for almost 3 years, Teresa, and she's lovely. And she's out in the Chicago area. And she has put together a really fun little gathering for us, for raising our resilience, folks and their friends to come on Tuesday, April 11th, which is in a couple weeks, on Zoom, to join and just for 30 minutes, hang out and get to try out some hydrogel eye patches and some skincare masks and just really enjoy some time of just like me time with others. And so I want you to save the date, April 11th at 6 p.m. But there's also a way for you to get some of to get basically like a care package with some of the different like eye gel patches and masks and moisturizers and things. But you need to fill out this form that I'm putting in to the to Zoom and to the Facebook group. You need to fill out that form by the end of the week so that she has time to mail it to you, because you'll just pop in your address and she'll send it to you. And it's only for this purpose. It's just to get you your care package in time for the party. Okay. And I really trust Teresa. She's wonderful. She's been a part of our community, like I said, for many years, and she will definitely protect your information. But yeah, if you'd like that care package, I'm excited to get mine, and I'll be there on April 11th doing our like skincare, skin glow for the spring. I know I've been getting out in the weather quite a bit this winter, and my skin could sure use a refresh, so I'm excited for that. In the meantime, we have Sarah. Yes, good job, Sarah. And even if you don't get it in time for this video, do it in the replay or do it for yourself in your own little spot and journal, or text it to another caregiver. Here's something I'm going to try. All of these are hacks for motivation and follow through from this training. Sarah says, you really wanted to watch another movie and I'm in the way of you getting another show. I get your frustration. It's hard when people take away the moments you enjoy. And then just stop and see what happens next. Do they soften their position? Do they look at you and maybe even look like maybe they're ready for a hug? Does it do nothing, but at least you modeled what they could say maybe 10 times later, notice what happens next. And I'm also looking on Facebook. I don't see anything yet, but I will come back and check this out. And for those of you who've been following my story around my personal story around my dog getting attacked by another dog, he did survive the attack. He has 8 fractured ribs and lots of stitches and staples, but he's making it through. And I have good news. I get to bring him to the vet for a checkup today for some x-rays and also to remove the stitches and staples because he's healing that well. So we went from maybe you need to put your dog down, this is so horrible, to he looking like a full recovery. So thank you so much for everybody who's leaned in. Sarah, I know you sent me a really lovely message. Others in the community who just said, we get it. Like he's part of your family, and what a horrible thing to have to witness a dog attacking and having to wrestle the dog off. It was really intense. I use all my tools. I was telling my clients on the training, I was like, good thing we're practicing coping tools because I use all 6 of these, and let me tell you how. Anyways, more on that next time on emotion coaching and soothing yourself in the moment. We'll see you next Monday. Do consider just popping your address in the form. If nothing else, you'll get a fun little care package from Teresa. And last but not least, I know my dear friend and colleague Jennifer Cormier is having an amazing event this week, starting on Wednesday, called How to Heal After Finding Joy After a Loss, which really works on healing your heart and really recovering from loss and grief and being able to move through it and find joy again. She's amazing. You should really check out her work if you haven't yet. There's a reason why I keep bringing her on and interviewing her and sharing her work with others, because I just think there's so much unprocessed grief in our community, and we just really need to do it. We need to do that work. So I'm going to go ahead and, I just realized that I didn't put the link in the chat for Teresa's event. This is a link to Jen's event. Would love for you to see you all there. And then we'd love to see folks also sign up for the skincare self-care party on April 11th. So we have 2 great events coming up, and then we have a Raising Our Resilience event that I'll be announcing next week, all about navigating big emotions, which has been our theme for these last few weeks and the weeks ahead. All right, lots of love to all of you. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Good work, you all. Keep it up, okay? Keep showing up, keep turning it up, keep trying one more thing with your kids and see how it builds over time. Even just a 1% improvement every day can lead to 36 to 37 times improvement over the year. So even if you just make one effort a day, a little bit more, it does make a difference, and your kids really start to feel you showing up in a new and different, empowering way. So good luck to all of you. Calm, empowered parents raising happy, confident, resilient kids. We'll see you next time.